Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube, and what we're going to make is a chocolate frosting. This particular frosting, though, you do have to make it on your stove top in a pan, and you're going to be using a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. I like this recipe because you can make it as thick or thin as you want it. In other words, if you want to dip, like say your cupcakes in it, or to make petit fours, that kind of thing, or you want to make it thicker, for your cupcakes, for a cake, it's usually enough to cover about a dozen cupcakes, one 13 by 9 cake, or one 8-inch round cake. It's usually enough. If you're gonna need more frosting, then make a double recipe for that. But as I said, this particular recipe, the longer you cook it, the thicker it gets. So you're gonna be the judge to decide how thick or thin you wanna make it and what you're doing with it and how you're gonna apply it to whatever. Whether you wanna use it more to be able to dip something in it, or that to apply it, of course, with your your knife, that kind of thing, to frost a cake. So I've got my pot on my little cooktop here, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in the 1 can of 14 ounces of condensed sweetened milk, and I'm going to try to get this all out here. This is a bit, gooey and quite sticky. Okay. And the next thing, what you need, of course, is chocolate. Now, you're going to need at least 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate. That does have to be melted either in your pan or in your microwave in a separate little dish. Or do what I'm doing. I usually don't buy unsweetened chocolate. I find it's expensive in the stores, and this is an alternative that you're going to save money when you do it. At least I believe I save money when I use it. Now, I have 6 tablespoons of your unsweetened baking cocoa, okay? And 2 tablespoons of oil. You decide the type of oil that you want to use, okay? And that's going to give me the equivalent to the 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate that I have to melt and wait for it to cool down maybe a little bit and what have you. So I find it fast, I find it less expensive, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my 2 tablespoons of oil into the 6 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa. Oops. Just give it a little bit of a stir. And then you will see that chocolate that we talked about if you're going to buy the bar. And if you prefer to buy the bar, or you have that already in your kitchen pantry, then feel free, but I just made my own 2 ounces of that, okay? Let me get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to add that to the condensed sweetened milk. Try to get it all out of there and start stirring it. I want to get a little bit more out. Now, I will not have all the recipe and the ingredients under the video due to so many people taking my videos to other sites and what have you, so I'm sorry about that, but it's just not worth my time anymore to put it underneath my video. And especially if you're going to write to me. If you're going to write to me, you really need to watch me solely on YouTube. Otherwise, I don't get your messages, I don't get your comments, I don't get your questions, that kind of thing. Okay, now, just combining that unsweetened, that I made the unsweetened chocolate, it's already starting to thicken, okay? I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in and stir that in, okay? Now, you're going to be cooking this at about medium-high, and you want to constantly keep it stirring because you don't want it to burn. Now, it probably will take you about 10 minutes to make it, okay? You're not really waiting for a boil or a small boil or anything like that. You're really going by the looks of it and when it's becoming to the consistency that you want it to be. But it could take up to 10 minutes. Now, once that you see that it's at the consistency that you want it to be, then take it off the heat, let it cool just for a minute or two, and then you're going to put in a tablespoon of water and a half a teaspoon of vanilla once you take it off the heat. Now, I will tell you on this mixture, it is at a boil point, even though I have it on medium heat, but it is quickening and thickening really fast, very, very quickly. It's really getting thicker, okay? And I don't know if you can even see it, but it is. All right, and that certainly didn't take me the 10 minutes to where it's at now, the way that I like it, okay? So I'm going to take this off the heat, okay? And I'm just going to put that on a towel. Okay, and like I said, let this just sit for a minute or two, but I'm going to move it along to the video. So I'm going to put my tablespoon of water in and stir that in. And then I'm going to put the half a teaspoon of vanilla in. Now, if you do get any little lumps, just keep beating it with your spoon till they're all gone. And you will get rid of if there is any lumps. But you do it by stirring. Okay? And that's about what it's at now. Now, as it cools, it's going to thicken even more. So I really probably suggest for you to try the one batch first. Find out where you're at as far as how thick you want it and whatever before you make a second batch. Because it's really, you know, it can be confusing to look at it because you think, oh, it's not, you know, it's not thick enough. I'm going to cook it for a little longer, and then it gets too thick. So, you know, like I said, try one batch and experiment with it, and then you'll know exactly when to take it off the heat on your second batch. Okay. Now, I have some made up because that's way too hot to try to do anything with it right now. Okay. And I have it right in here in a bowl. So let me put that hot pot away from me. And I don't know if you can see the consistency of it, but it's just beautiful. And you get that nice smell of that chocolate fudge smell. Oh, it really, nice and shiny. And I have some pieces of chocolate cake here that I just want to show you. You know, I'm just going to put a little bit on the top here so you can kind of see it going down on the cake. Okay, like that. I hope you can see that. Okay, and let's do another one. As I said, what's nice about this is that you can make it as thick or as thin as you want it to. Okay, and here's another one. You'll get a nice high shiny gloss to it. It's really a great tasting frosting, and it's relatively so quick to make. It really is. All right, now I also want to show you in a thinner state, and I actually took these and I dipped these in the chocolate. The same thing, little pieces of chocolate cake that I made, little squares, and then I dipped it. And then what I also like to do is I like to put that in the fridge or the freezer and set it up, that type of thing. So as you can see, it really has a lot of uses to it, whether how thick or medium thick or thick that you can make it, depending on what you want to use it for. Give this recipe a try. If you like it, please leave a comment because I'd like to hear from you. I always want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And again, please watch my videos on YouTube, because if you do write a question or ask a question or comment, whatever it may be, I'm going to see it and I'm going to answer it, okay? If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to ring the bell or even give it a like, I can't thank you enough for doing that. So again, thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake. Give this little frosting recipe a try. I think you're going to like it. Thanks again. See you soon.